Today we're going to be looking at 3 late round options for your Dynasty rookie drafts. 2 of them I love, 1 of them I got questions about, but we're going to talk about these prospects. We're going to look at the numbers, what we're seeing from the tape, and everything else. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're getting you ready for your Dynasty rookie drafts by looking at the combine, looking at the draft, looking at these prospects overall, doing mock drafts, looking at these player values, trade values, and everything else. Click that button, stop missing out, but we're digging into our first player. This player's got a little bit of chatter to him, but often he's not getting mentioned much in this class, and that is LeJohntay Wester. One of my favorite late round wide receivers. I think he's going to get jumped up the board among the draft community here soon because he's been cooking. He was cooking in Shrine Game practices. He was the name that was mentioned the most that week. Maybe between that and the Senior Bowl, he's one of the bigger winners throughout the All-Star Game season. LeJohntay Wester is a player to pay attention to. Yes, he's a smaller wide receiver. I think he weighed in like 174, 177 or something like that at the Shrine Game. However, we have a skill set that might equate to being on the field at the NFL level. And then also looking at his production profile, it's rather interesting considering we were not heavily recruited at all. 24/7 Sports didn't even have him ranked. He was an afterthought. But we go to Florida Atlantic. After nobody's really paying attention to us during the recruiting scene. So we have to work our way up the ranks, the depth chart there at Florida Atlantic. Year 1, we're on the field a little bit. Considering what we just saw from his recruiting profile, that's a win. That's a huge win. Then we get to the sophomore season, the second year. 702 receiving yards, 65 balls caught. We are getting it done. 4 touchdowns. That's a huge win for his second year. The next year, similar stats, but 8 touchdowns that year. And then his final year at Florida Atlantic in 2023. 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. The dam breaks, and we go off. We get more yards, we get more catches. One of the most productive wide receivers in college football. We could go out for the draft at this point, but we got to improve our stock. We got to put a stamp to our name here. Plus, the 2023 wide receiver class is nasty. It's deep. So why not stay another year? And we'll transfer to Colorado. We got Travis Hunter soaking up the targets. We got Horn there. We come in, instantly catch 74 balls for 931 yards, 10 touchdowns, the most touchdowns on our career, and we're doing good. We break out with 2 different collegiate programs after being an afterthought throughout the recruiting scene, and we're looking at his career through a market share lens. We broke out at age 19. After being a nobody in recruiting, nobody was looking at him, we still climbed the depth chart at FAU. And then we go off during his final year there, age 21, 45.2% share of the passing yards there. And then we go to Colorado. We break out with 2 different collegiate programs. You have to be a good wide receiver to be able to break out with 2 different collegiate programs. You can make the case like, hey, I don't like older wide receivers. However, he stayed an extra year to prove his worth because he was playing lower level competition on a lower level program, goes up to Colorado on a team that's highly competitive. And you got Travis Hunter there, Jimmy Horn, you got Shepard there, you got competition there for targets. We instantly compete for targets, 931 yards, 10 touchdowns. Yards per team pass attempt, 2.83 his best season, 1.93 with the Colorado Buffalo, Shadur Sanders and company. We were rocking it. And just remember what we saw from the Shrine Bowl practices. He was cooking everybody up. He was putting them in a blender. This is a guy with a lot of upside. Would not be surprised if he runs well at the combine. Everybody starts talking him up. One of the reasons why I made this video is because I want to talk about LeJohntay Wester. And he's a guy nobody's really talking about. Just a few. Not nobody, but just a few. And I'm excited about this kid. You look at what he's done. A.wise, shorter targets. Just getting it done, short to intermediate. That might hurt him for fantasy football. Not racking up the A-dot. Not really racking up the yak. That being said, we have a skill set here that can create separation, that can blend dudes up, short to intermediate, and we're very twitchy. and we got home run hitting speed, and we're productive. We've gotten better over the course of time during our career, and his strengths are his speed and acceleration and his ability to break off routes. Very polished, crispy route running, very versatile. You can put him inside, outside. Due to his speed, even though he is a smaller wide receiver, his biggest weakness is lack of size. Lack of size is not ideal for him because it's not like you're going to be a true fit everywhere. There are going to be some limitations to your scheme. However, this is a guy that can break off routes, create separation, and I'm very excited for him. Watching where he goes after the combine, more people are going to be talking him up. And you're going to be seeing that, but this is a late-round pick that if you want a late-round dart throw at wide receiver, LeJohntay Wester, watch where he goes in the draft. But LeQuint Allen, big-time running back prospect that's hiding under the radar. Some people are talking him up. I saw some YouTube channels on him. LeQuint Allen, though, at the Senior Bowl, comes in nice. Not oversized, but good size coming into this. You can definitely say that. 6 foot, 207. We got some size to our frame, a little bit more than what was projected from PFF. That being said, we look at his prospect profile coming out of high school. Not really a highly sought after recruit. 7 offers, which he got more. 24/7 Sports does not update their site. 6 foot, 180. So we racked up 27 pounds from high school to the end of college. 83rd ranked running back in the class. They were down on him. They did not like him. They did not have him on the radar. However, we got some good Power 5, Power 4 programs after him. Mid-level, not the greatest. Not like the Alabamas or the LSUs or anything like that. Or the Georgias or the Ohio States. But you have some programs looking at him. So he was fielding some market there. But we come into Syracuse. First season, it's a feeling out season. That makes sense considering we were ranked 83rd overall among freshman running backs. Then 2023, it does not take long for us to take over the backfield. Over 1,000 yards. Over 1,000 yards, 1,200 yards from scrimmage, catching 38 balls. This year, he caught 64 balls and another 1,000-yard season with 16 touchdowns. This is a fun running back prospect. You can put him in the slots. You can have him run routes. More than just a running back that can catch passes out of the backfield, he can actually be a receiving weapon. You saw him run routes. He's very sudden. He's twitched up running routes. However, on top of that, he's got some power at the point of contact. He's got some vision. He's very assertive finding the lane. He's got a good approach to the line of scrimmage. You're looking at him yards after contact per attempt, 3 this year, 2.87. Not the greatest, but good enough. Missed tackles force is okay, 56 in 2023, 44 last year. Carry share, it went up, 56.72 this year at age 20. He is a younger running back prospect. Will be 21 years old as a rookie in the NFL level. And we handled 80% of the rushing yards for Syracuse this year. We handled that. Looking good. We were the workhorse running back for the Orangemen. We were. And then looking at what he did in the receiving game. We ran 407 routes this year. We were heavily used in the passing game. On top of that, 1.3 yards per route ran, which is very solid. 8 outs around the line of scrimmage, which is accepted for a running back because a lot of those targets are behind the line of scrimmage, but we're not in the negatives either, lending the notion that we're running routes downfield. And we were getting targets as a freshman, running routes downfield with an 8 out of 6.2. So about the average line for your tight end. Yards after the catch per reception, 8.1. Good, and our targets racked up throughout our career. The one thing you want to notice here, age 19, age 20, sophomore and junior seasons, 15% target share, 14% target share. So we surpassed that 10% threshold. We were heavily used in the passing game, and we had a new quarterback this year with McCord. He still looked Allen's way. That being said, you're looking at a running back in the later rounds that has some upside in the passing game that can do something between the tackles as well. Not the most defined running back, but he has good receiving ability, smooth hands, catch the ball downfield a little bit, has decent vision. He's very electric too, very sudden player, and he's very aggressive at the point of contact. He can break tackles and keep balance. Contact balance is pretty good. Pass protection's okay, but not perfect. Vision's okay, but not perfect. He can be inconsistent at times. Speed's there. Speed's there and he can break away. However, he's not going to be the fastest back in the class. And Donovan Edwards, our next running back here, definitely not the fastest back in the class. And this is the player that I'm so on when I'm talking about the later rounds, but I'm paying attention to. One of the reasons why, and it ain't because really what I'm seeing on the tape or any like stat that I just found, it's really the market value of this kid. This kid's going to hold some dynasty value due to his name, due to him being on the cover of College Football 25, due to what he did against Ohio State, that one game where he had that 75-yard touchdown, another touchdown. He had some big moments. Whenever he sees a camera, he lights it up. And there's going to be some name cachet with this kid. Some hopium among dynasty drafters. He's going to be drafted late in drafts. People are going to be looking to pick him up. He does have some ability in the passing game, but he leaves a lot on the table. He was a 5-star prospect, ranked as the second running back in the 2021 recruiting class, 4th in the composite. Alabama, Michigan, Auburn, big schools wanted him, small schools wanted him, everybody wanted him. He had 43 offers listed on 24/7 Sports. Usually every recruiting class, and I'm the only dynasty analyst that knows this, because I'm the only one doing a video on every single player in the class. There's only a handful of kids with 40 plus offers, like five-ish, sometimes 7, sometimes 4 type of deal. 43 offers is a lot, especially for a running back. That being said, college football whiffed on this kid. The recruiting services kind of whiffed on this kid. The composite gave him a 4-star. That was an indicator, but he did not live up to this 5-star status. Nobody's coming into this draft class saying, hey, Donovan Edwards, 5-star running back. No one's talking that up. We're looking at him as that running back who went to Michigan that we were watching, waiting for him to turn it on. He just never really turned it on to take over, and we're watching his career here. We did not break 1,000 yards. Our best year was 7.1 yards per carry. That was in 2022. Last couple years, less than 5, 5.3 on our career. We are good at catching the ball out of the backfield. We are smooth in the open field, but it's not like it's 100% consistent either. We're smooth everywhere, actually, but it's not 100% consistent. That's what we're seeing out of this kid. Yards after the catch per reception, 3.71 his best year in 2022. That was his best season overall. 2.86, 2.67. It's fine. It's fine. We're sharing the backfield. We're always sharing the backfield in Michigan, and we're seeing what he's doing with the rushing share here. 29% is his best. 28% is his second best last year. We're getting a little bit of work out of the backfield, but we've always been a timeshare running back. Looking at his yards after the catch per reception, and the fact that I'm looking at him as a receiving back, I want double digits. I want double digits throughout his whole career. I'm not getting that. 11.6 in 2021. It's been a while since then. The targets have been good. The target share has not been that great. I like to break that 10% threshold. However, what we saw at the Senior Bowl, what we saw in certain moments, he does show some flash in the open field. He shows the ability to be able to do the job between the tackles a little bit. But what I find from him, he's rather inconsistent. Like, he's got good vision, but then he doesn't have good vision in other moments. He is very sudden at times when it's applicable, but other times it's not. And it makes you want to pull your hair out. So when you see the upside abilities in this kid, it's there. However, when I watch him run the ball, though, I do not see elite speed. I do see him stutter a little bit and hesitate coming up to the line of scrimmage. Other times he finds the hole and gets right through it. He's not a consistent player. That might affect him moving forward up an NFL depth chart. However, when I look at Donovan Edwards, he can't catch the ball in the backfield. He does have some vision. And if he's on the back end of a depth chart, it's middle of the season, injuries hit, he starts getting some work, or it might be right before that game is played, and next thing you know, his stock bumps up. I think he's going to be very liquid on the market, so I'm paying attention to that. I'm paying attention to where he goes in the draft and how high he goes in the draft. I'm guessing late day 3. I'm guessing he falls in this draft. I'm guessing that's what happens. If he goes middle of like the 4th round, my ears will perk up a little bit, but I'm not overzealous with Donovan Edwards. However, when I look at him, I know he's a player that might hold some value due to his name cachet on the Dynasty stock market. However, I'm watching. I'm watching. I'm watching him at the combine. I'm watching what he does. I'm watching where he goes in the draft, where he's at in the depth chart. I'm watching him in training camp. I'm watching to see what he does. I think he can supplant some backup running backs and maybe earn some opportunity somewhere down the line for a few games in his career. That could be the flip point. However, I'm watching where he goes. This is a deep running back class. A running back that could not live up to his 5-star status. Had to share the workload with Blake Corum and company even this year. When he's had his moments to prove himself, is something to pay attention to. I also want to throw this out there. He was not a great fit at Michigan. It just did not feel like that. However, when you see him on the field, you see him run the ball, you know it's not 100% smooth. You know he's not 100% consistent. And that is something that might hit him hard at the NFL level. Situation's going to matter for this kid and what he does at the combine. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.